You, my friend, are going door knocking for the very first time. So in this video, I want to teach you 10 tips to make your first time going door knocking that much easier so you can hopefully get your first appointment or even make your very first sale on day one. That's a big claim to make. But listen, if you're tuning into this channel, that tells me that you're someone who's dedicated to success. You're studying up, you're here, which I love. And quite frankly, many of us who got into this business way long ago, we didn't have resources like this. So the fact that you're here studying, learning how to pitch, learning what to say, and getting those clear expectations is huge. So this video and these 10 tips are gonna help you be even more successful. My one ask, share this with someone on your team who could use a little help, even if they've been out for their first time, maybe they're still new at this, these 10 tips still apply. Right before we jump in, quick welcome back. Adam Bensman here, the Roof Strategist. And everything that I do here on my YouTube channel and my podcast and my program is designed to help you and your team smash your income goal and give every customer an amazing experience. So without further ado, let's jump right into today's video. But one quick thing, if you haven't yet done it and you're getting started, jump into my free training center. There's a link in the description, or you can text the word free to 303-222-7133. Just text the word free to 303-222-7133 and jump into the playlist in there called Canvassing and Ace Your Pitch. You're gonna crush it. Now let's get started. Number one tip for your first day of door knocking, we're gonna start easy and then we're gonna go deeper. Drive there. I know it sounds nuts, but the hardest part sometimes is actually getting started, getting into your vehicle and knowing where you're gonna go. So tip number one, drive there and get your butt there. Tip number two, the hardest door to open. It's not this one, it's not knocking this. The hardest door to open is your own vehicle, getting out of your car or your truck. So tip number two is when you're there, don't sit in there waiting. I want you to think of this analogy. Have you ever gone cliff jumping? Yeah, you're sitting on the edge of that cliff and you're looking down, your heart's going, it's pitter-pattering. And then it gets worse, and then you anticipate, you're like, okay, I'll just wait a minute. And then it gets worse, and then it gets worse, and then you're like, oh my gosh. So instead, you just get there and you gotta leap. And that first door, the hardest one to get out of is your truck door. Tip number three. One of the things I learned from interviewing a gentleman named Carl on my YouTube channel is he said he'd go up when he knew no one was home and he would knock that door first. And I loved it. So Carl, thank you. If you want to see that interview, you can check it out. They'll put a link up here to that video. Now, Carl, the reason that he shared with me that he knocked a door when no one was home is it allowed him to get that one out of the way. So that fear and that tension was gone. The hardest door to knock's your first one. So just give yourself an easy pass. It's like training wheels almost, right? It's okay to need them and you'll use them until you don't need them anymore. All right, tip number four. This would probably be best placed actually in the very beginning, but I don't want to start it there, is you want to practice what to say. You'll notice here, I slap door. Slap is my slap canvassing formula. Say hi, break the ice. Let them know why you're there and make it really familiar to their neighborhood. Ask an open-ended question and P, present to their answer. You can learn all about that in my free training center or here browsing on YouTube. Now, the reason that we want to practice this is when you're new in roofing sales, going door to door, the most intimidating thing is as we're approaching this door for the very first time in our head, what are we going to say? And we start to jumble our words and jumble our mind. That anxiety flutters up and it freaks us out. So we just take a deep breath and we just practice what we're going to say. Say hi, break the ice. Hey, my name's your so-and-so name, break the ice. Adorable pink puppy. There's not a pink puppy, that's the Pink Panther. Right? Adorable Labradoodle, love the car, truck in the driveway, whatever it is. Okay? Let them know why you're there. The reason I'm stopping by, I'm talking to some folks here on Lexington Lane. Ask an open-ended question. Hey, where are you at in the process? All right? Quite simple when you just practice and you get those rehearsals in. So there you go. Tip number four is knowing what to say as you approach the door and your confidence is going to skyrocket. All right. Tip number five, expect that it will be hard. If people that you've shadowed before have great success at the beginning and they look like a natural, let me just tell you, they didn't start that way, most likely. Most likely they started just like you did. They were nervous, they expected, they didn't think it would be as hard as it is. There's something really frightening about walking up to a stranger's home and interrupting them in the middle of their day. You have no idea if they're gonna come at you. You don't know if they're gonna scream at you. It's a whole landscape that plays mind games with you. So just expect that it will be hard and know, just like a hard workout, if you're ever going for that big run or going to the gym and you're tired, you didn't sleep enough, and you're in there and you know it's going to be hard, what do? You do it anyway. You go through and you get the workout done. And it's the same thing here in roofing sales. All right, tip number six, have a daily goal. I had a young gentleman come up to me one day after training and he goes, Adam, how many doors should I be knocking in a day? And I just paused and I said, well, how many are you knocking? And he says to me, 5. And I was like, it would take you longer to drive to that neighborhood and drive home than it would to knock those 5 doors. So have that daily goal. Hit 60 doors. hit 100 doors. Have that daily goal and stick with it. When you expect it to be hard, just like in your workout when you go to the gym, you've got the routine you're gonna hit, you know the mileage you're gonna run, you're jumping on your bike, whatever it is, you know that it's not gonna be easy, but you're gonna get through it. So have that daily goal. All right, tip number 7, we're getting into the mindset piece. You will get people that are going to shout at you, they're going to scream at you, they're going to call you names. And all of a sudden, if you don't have an armored mind, you begin to tell yourself those things. You're going to say, I am a scumbag, I am a sleazeball. If they did want my services, they would call me. Why am I showing up at their door? And you have to remember in your heart of heart, when you are aligned with the right company, that you are offering a valuable service. You are there to help people. You are there to solve one of the most expensive problems that most people will face, which is replacing their roof. The single most expensive maintenance item on their home. Not everyone is our customer. It's sales, it's life, it's business. Not everyone's gonna like you. I hate to break it to you. In fact, that was the hardest part for me, getting up on YouTube and being vulnerable and out there. Not everyone likes me. People don't like my style. There's critique on what I say, but I know that they're not my customer, and that's okay. There's plenty of other folks that will serve them. They're a good fit for those folks, but they're not a good fit for me. And the same applies to you, my friend. You are offering a valuable service to people who absolutely need it. If you get kicked off someone's doorstep or something, don't sweat it. Just remember, you got to block your ears of what they're telling you and stay focused on the fact that you're solving a problem and bringing a valuable service. Tip number 8, expect to have some fear. But remember that fear, it's between your ears, it's in your head. I had a gentleman email me one day. He was a combat veteran. He served in Iraq, and he was stationed in one of the most dangerous places with regular firefights and saw some horrific things. And he says, Adam, I was in battle, in combat, and I never once skipped a beat. But coming out here to put my hands on a stranger's door, that scares the daylights out of me. But the interesting thing is, in combat, there were real fear. There's bullets and IEDs and RPGs. But in door-to-door roofing sales, it's just words. But internal fear is the realest of them all, the scariest of them all, because it's in our head. And I know that's an extreme example, but it's to show that you're normal experiencing that fear. So you can rewrite your mind with this acronym of fear. FEAR, feeling, excited, and ready. Feeling, excited, and ready. When you feel that fear, nope, I'm feeling excited and ready. I'm feeling excited and ready. I'm feeling excited and ready. Make that your mantra, because it's all up here. All right, which brings us to tip number 9. Have fun with it and be energetic. All right, when you're out on the doors, it's easy to get beat down. It's easy to get lethargic. It's easy to feel crummy. Have fun with it. All right, humor goes a long way. I've done other videos, and I probably will do even more on humor, but there's nothing to even knock on the door and say, hey, I'm in the neighborhood collecting high fives for smiles. Because I'll tell you, if someone gives you a high five, they're gonna smile. Be you, enjoy it, and even if it's tough, be that person that just rises up to the occasion and maintains that level of enthusiasm and energy, because again, you are of value and you're being of service to many, many people. And this now brings me to tip number 10. Make a wildly awesome first impression. I've done videos on this before on the channel, and I'll put a link to one up here. And the reason that I suggest watching this is that first impression, when that person pulls that door open and looks at you, the first thing that's going through their mind is, are they safe or are they dangerous? Are they a threat or are they a friend? So we need to send the international friend signals right away to disarm people. It's more important, in my opinion, than anything that we could say scripted-wise or using a formula or pitching framework, whatever it is. The reason is that microsecond that person is looking at you is how they're drawing conclusions about who you are as a person. And we want that first impression to be wildly disarming and friendly. So we use all those signals of the open palm wave, the international, like, when you see a friend, the eyebrow flash, the chin raise, squaring up, hey, smile. Bringing that energy and enthusiasm is going to help make the whole process that much easier. So there you have it. 10 tips to make your very first time door knocking that much more effective. So hopefully you can even get your very first appointment or your first sale on the spot. Now, being a rich community, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment in the comment section below with your tip, because I know that I've missed some. I chose my top 10, but I know that others are going to have even more information and great advice. So if you have some tips for the newbies out there, drop them below. And if you are a newbie and you're living in it right now and you've got some tips that have helped you, drop them in the comment section below. That's what makes this community here so rich. Now, thank you so much for joining me in today's video. Just because our time here is about to wrap up doesn't mean your In My Time has to. So if you haven't yet done it, hop into my free training center and binge through the canvassing, the pitching, the objection library, personal development, goal setting. All those videos are really going to help you be even more effective in roofing sales. Or if you want to hang with me here on YouTube, YouTube thinks you're really going to love this video. And I will see you on the next one.